We are now talking to Maryland sophomore tight end CJ Dippre. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
We're good, man. How are you? How's Maryland going?
Can you guys hear me all right?
We hear you good, man. We hear you good.
All right, just making sure. Everything's going good. Originally I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania, so that's
Right.
where I decided to come on spring break. I'm just home right now. So, the weather definitely a lot warmer from where I came from. Down in Maryland, it's probably like 85 every day up here, You got it raining, mud all over, getting the Jordans dirty. You got everything just piling up, problem on problem back home. But, from a football school standpoint, I love it down there, Yeah, I haven't talked to you guys in a long time, and
Yes.
I remember I was just, committing and stuff at that point, and now I'm already a whole year in the program. I left early from high school, so, this will be my second spring ball coming up when I get back after spring break, so I'm excited. Things definitely turned the best way for me.
As everybody knows, we are talking to Maryland sophomore tight end CJ Dippre. Now, CJ, the last time we had you on, you're still very young. You're an up-and-coming tight end. This past year, you had a couple of snaps, but really didn't play as much. But this year, going into your sophomore year, you have an opportunity where you're going to get a chance to play and play a lot. What is it like, obviously learning as a backup tight end, watching your team, some of the players in front of you grow and slowly move on to either the NFL or the CFL? What is it like playing college football and just, being the other guy, not being the guy?
Just to start off with, playing as a true freshman, that really blew my mind a little bit. I was used to playing maybe in front of 1,000 people to a full stadium down in Maryland. So, that was awesome. I guess you could say like a sixth man off the bench, like in the NBA, like I was like the next tight end, the next key part of the offense. So, it was awesome to get in there after the two tight ends before me. Our starting tight end, Chigoziem Okonkwo, he's actually, he just ran the fastest 40 time for a tight end in the NFL Combine. So, he bumped his draft projection up real good. So, him taking me under my wing, again, I played quarterback in high school. I never really played tight end. So I had to learn so much, and he helped me out through, summer camps, last spring ball. He showed me all the different kind of ways, different kind of routines that he would go through, even not even football, just as down to as low as meditation. He showed me how to do all that kind of stuff and just rest the body, like mentally and physically. So, big props to him. And, college football in general, it's an experience. It's definitely awesome. You're out there and you're right. Like Coach Locks, our head coach, says it a lot. It's not high school. You're trying to be the hot shot, be the stud. You're playing for what's in front of your jersey, which in college it is, it says Maryland in front of your jersey or wherever you play. So, it's really more of a team. Everyone on the team's trying to make it bigger places. Everyone on the team wants to go to the NFL instead of in high school. Maybe you have someone playing to wear a jersey or playing to be on an association, which is fine. But when you're on the next level and you have a group of men, old grown men. I'm about to be 20 next month, but I got guys on the team 25, 26 years old. You're playing with them. It's just a group of men doing what they love to do,
So the College Park atmosphere, both with the football atmosphere and the atmosphere of the college, what was that like in your first year?
As most student athletes would tell you, especially in the football team, you do see school differently than an average student, with the facilities and all the luxury you get, all that kind of stuff. I do see it differently than an average student at Maryland, but I love it. College Park is beautiful. The campus is big, but it's got its perks to it. You get around. With our academic advisors, they put you in classes right around the facility, so you're not, walking miles and have to come and go through a hard 3-hour practice. You're all right there, and they do a really good job, like putting us where that we need to be and, keeping us on a good time schedule.
You were one of my favorite guys that we interviewed in the top 50 recruits 2 years ago. And really what you have turned into, you're a young man now. When we talked to you, you were 17. You're about turning 18. Now you're 20 years old. You're becoming a man. Your body is changing. What is it like going into the weight room and obviously your training is completely different in college than it was in high school. What is it like with really the growth, you're becoming like more of a man and stepping on the field with bigger, stronger, better athletes?
Oh, definitely. So, my area alone, it's not really that big of a football area. So, I've never played against a Division I athlete in my life until I got to that level. Like high school, other high schools you may play against better competition, play against good guys. I never did in football ever. I was always, I guess, looked at as the top guy in my area. So, towards the end of my high school career, my senior season, I got in a big in powerlifting with my dad. So, I had a like real big, solid, bulky structure. And then, you get to college and it's a whole different thing. You're not lifting weights to like look big. You're lifting weights to, be more flexible, get what you need to do. I mean, have the right football body type, not a powerlifting body type. And I'm actually here, like I'm a big weightlifting guy. I actually, as a freshman, I won I'm not I don't want to say like the strongest man on the team award,
Right.
but it's called the Iron Man award. Like the guy, I was living in the weight room, living what I needed to do. Showed a lot of attention to my strength staff. I mean, one of the biggest reasons I did choose to commit to Maryland was because of the strength staff. I mean, like I said, I'm really into that. I mean, hopefully I could play on the next level, but I mean, if I don't, that's what I want to pursue a future. And, I want to become a strength coach, become a, physical therapist, something on that route. My body, I mean, yeah, I feel it's crazy. You think your body's beat up after high school and then you go to college and hitting every day, like it's a job, I mean, obviously you get your stipend checks and whatnot. I mean, they take care of you with food and living and stuff at college, especially if you're on full scholarship like myself. It is a job, so I mean, you got to put your body, you got to put your time, everything on the line for, the university, because I mean, obviously you get the perks of going there and doing that kind of thing.
You actually played in the Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium. So what was
Yes,
that
sir.
experience like, the bowl game as a whole, and also your experience maybe at Yankee Stadium in New York City, even off the field?
Oh man, I mean, it was awesome. I loved it. I hung out with most of the seniors last year, the guys that transferred. So I mean, I was up there with all of those guys, like I mentioned before, like Chig, my senior tight end that's going to the NFL now. I hung out with him most of my time up there just in New York itself. And, we had so much fun. I mean, a lot of those guys being older that left or graduated, like Maryland hasn't gone to a bowl game since they've been here. Being a freshman and be able to walk in and not walk in and go to a bowl game, but walk in, help the team out a little bit and work and get to a bowl game your first year. I mean, just the experience itself was awesome. I don't follow baseball that much, but I mean, obviously I know the Yankees are, I know all the main teams, but I mean, I'm sure if you were a big baseball fan, you were a Yankees fan, and you were on our team or Virginia Tech's team playing there, it had to be amazing. Because, I mean, just not being a big baseball fan, being there in that stadium was unbelievable. It was awesome.
It's the new stadium, but there was a championship in 2009, the first year that it opened, and a lot of great Yankee teams, a lot of great Yankee players have stepped on that field. What was it like with this whole COVID situation last year? I mean, obviously no fans, no crowds, and just really just everybody says it affected not only professional sports but college sports and the college fans not having all these the students getting the opportunity to get the chance to see and root on their alma mater. So what was it like not having fans in the stadium?
Like you said at the beginning of the show, I mean, I can't answer that question. I mean, I am a sophomore, but I'm a sophomore
Right.
not because of my football eligibility, but because of my school. So I left high school last November. So I got last winter and last fall done, and this is my third semester. So I'm a sophomore, but I wasn't around for the COVID season when all the fans weren't there. I was in my high school football season. So I mean, I can rub up on high school stuff. I mean, I don't remember it as much, but like I wasn't there. I remember I was watching the games when there was no fans and stuff. I wasn't on the team yet.
Your starting quarterback was actually Tua Tagovailoa's brother, Talia Tagovailoa, transferred from Alabama. So what was he like playing with him as a quarterback?
He played well this year, too.
Yeah, in that first year of that offensive system against some good Big Ten opponents, too.
I remember my first time meeting him. It was my first couple of days there. And we went to throw. We went to get extra work. We went in, met all the receivers and whatnot. And I remember he walked in. And I mean, like me and like the two other freshmen that were there with me, bro. We were tweaking. We were like, "Ain't no way this is this guy, bro. Like this is the guy." And like we were so happy and stuff. But I mean, even we have a bunch of big names, big guys on the team. But obviously him being the most. But after a while, I mean, the energy. It's just like. No matter how many accolades anyone has on the whole team, no matter how good people were in high school, how good their stars were, I mean, we're on the same spot. You know what I mean? So, I mean, after a while, I mean, obviously it's awesome to know everybody on the team. So we are good friends. Obviously, I'm planning to be a starting tight end this year, so we have a really good connection. We hang out. But, it's like everyone's just a normal guy after that. I mean, even guys in the NFL, when I meet them, when I see them coming back to campus or whatnot, it's like, they're one more level above me. It's not like in high school, you're like, wow, they're in the NFL. It's like they're one more level above you now. Like that's not far away. That possibly could be you in 2 years, possibly could be you in a couple years, whatever, So it's awesome. I mean, it's cool, but again, like I said, everyone after a while, everyone's just like you're all in the same spot, same position.
CJ, obviously, the season, it was a pretty good season for Maryland this year. What was the highs of this year and what were the lows of this year? What really stood out? Is there a story that you could tell us that happened at the end of the game? Any funny stories, any crazy things that happened in the locker room that you can remember this year that really can make our fans laugh?
I mean, I'll start with like the serious business before the funny business. But I mean, like the ups and downs. I mean, obviously we went 4-0. I mean, the West Virginia win was the biggest win out of the first 4 games. Our first game, which was awesome. I mean, I think that game and then our blackout game against Iowa, which was our 5th game, was probably the most packed games, and they were awesome. So I mean, obviously our first couple games of the season were our big high. Our 5th week Iowa game, our star receiver Dante Demas, he was like he was right on top of like being the best receiver in the league and the college football or whatever stat it was, and he tore everything in his knee, went down. I mean, you saw the memes. He said he was coming back and whatever. I mean, that was a big deal, and that was pretty cool. So it hurt us a lot that game. Who knows if we would have won that game and our whole record would have been different? Nobody really knows, but that was definitely a big downfall in our season for when he got hurt. And then, we went into Ohio State. We had all our starting defensive backs hurt, and 2 of our middle linebackers were hurt, which hurt us. Again, Ohio State's a great team. I'm not going to sit here and say we had all our guys who were going to win that game. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying.
I'm saying it.
Maybe it wouldn't have been as bad.
I'm saying it. You would have.
I'm not trying to say no crazy stuff out here. I mean, let me think of some funny stuff. There has been some funny stuff that happened. I mean, not much I could say on the radio or this channel, but I don't know. There's been some crazy stuff I've been around.
I'm sure there has been. All right, we'll keep it, off the radio. You have to sneak a couple of stories to me, so maybe I can let the fans
100%.
know. Maybe the fans will get to know, I guess you could say it won't be rated R or rated like whatever you want to call it. Rated PG, okay? Or rated G. All right.
So did you have a favorite did you have one opponent you were looking forward to playing the most among the games that you did play this season? I know you were talking about Iowa, who was a very good team for a while until they were number 2 in the country, I think, at one point. But Big Ten across the board has a lot of tough ones. Is there one game that stood out to you as being someone to say, I want to go in and dominate these guys?
Michigan State, Ohio State, and Penn State, and Iowa. Not necessarily at the end of the season, but when we were playing them that week, maybe not at the same time, but they were all in the top 10. They were all the top 10 teams in the nation, which was, I mean, just to play those kind of teams that, like you said, Iowa number 2, or Michigan State, they were 4 and 5 for a while. It's like, wow, like you're playing top dog opponents. So, I mean, that was cool. It was cool. I mean, a big thing for me, I love to travel and see the stadiums. Again, not many people from my area leave. I'm the first one to do it in a long time. First one out of any of my friends to really, get out and do something athletically. So it's pretty cool to, travel, see the stadiums and stuff. I think I would definitely have to go between Ohio State and Penn State. My like biggest teams that I wanted to play. Penn State being, I'm from Pennsylvania, and I mean Penn State did me a little dirty with the recruiting process. They didn't want to offer me. They wanted to offer me to play tackle, which was whatever. At the time, I had offers for quarterback, linebacker, DN, tight end. I mean, I was just ready to play whatever, man. I would tell coaches I want to play up, back, on punt. I didn't care. I just wanted to get offers. So, I mean, that was a big thing. And then, like, once I committed, 3 days before signing my national letter of intent, Franklin would call me. He would FaceTime me, like, the last 3 days, every day. We all come to Penn. I was like, nah, man. Like, there's no way. I was already so mindset going to Maryland. Ohio State was my dream school for a while. I mean, for a big childhood, I guess you could say. I always wanted to be a Buckeye. I don't know why. I don't know how that became a thing, but that was kind of my school I wanted to go to.
Well, all their tight ends are either getting drafted or transferred, so maybe there's room.
He wants to stay in Maryland.
Maybe.
He wants to stay in Maryland.
Hey, the transfer portal is very powerful. You never know.
Yeah.
It is. The transfer portal is ridiculous now. There's so much going on in that.
Definitely, and you can make some money now. Obviously, the college players could go out there, sign autographs, and
Yeah.
make side money, which is very, very important. I think this should have been opened up for. I think in the last 5 years, I said 5 years ago during the show that the college players should be making money, and then finally, you guys you have an opportunity where you can make your own money. So that's a good thing.